Hi, my name is Elizabeth Curtis. I'm with WOSU Classroom, and welcome to Google One-on-One, the Basics. Today, we're going to talk about just a few of Google's starter apps just to get you started. So, starting with Google Drive, we'll hop into Google Docs, and we'll end off with Google Slides. So, as I said before, I am Elizabeth Curtis. I'm an instructional technology consultant with WOSU Classroom. If at any time you need to reach me after this video, you can reach out to me at elizabeth.curtis@wosu.org, or you can follow me on Twitter at SingLiz. If you follow me, I will be sure to follow you back so that we can keep in contact. So, now let's hop right on into today's discussion, which is Google One-on-One. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to get started with signing into your own Google Drive. Now, the easiest way to get there for most people is to just type in Google Drive in the Omnibox. Now, the Omnibox is what people used to call a while ago the address bar. And that's because normally people would have to put the web address for wherever they wanted to go. But now, because of Google Chrome, they have it set up where you can actually do a search right within that top box. And so they call it the Omnibox. So you can type in Google Drive, and most likely it's going to be the very first link that you see. And so for the sake of this class, I'm going to go ahead and go to my personal. And here I am already signed in to my Google Drive. Now, just to get started, you may have noticed that the first thing you see is that my first page when I went into my Google Drive was priority. Now, priority is a new feature of Google Drive. And what it does is it allows you to create little workspaces, and it allows you to put up to 25 files within one workspace. Now, what's unique about these files are if you have several folders within your drive and you have files that are in each of those different several folders that you don't want to move, what Google now has is called priority, and I can now drop in important files from several different folders and have them all in one location. And so this is ideal if you are working with teams where there are certain items that should not be removed from folders. And it also saves space because you don't want to have to make a copy and put certain files into multiple folders. And so priority is going to be perfect for you if you're sharing drives with someone and you have folders, files and folders in several different folders, or if you do yourself have several different folders with files spread throughout those folders that you like to have in one location. And so that is what priority is. To create a new workspace, you simply just hit create, and I'm just going to type in test. And as you'll see, it's going to automatically recommend a few files that they think I would want to be in that folder. I don't have to choose those files. I can just choose other files. And then all of my files that are on my drive, starting with my recent, will pop up and I can create a brand new workspace. And so that is what priority is. The reason why priority popped up first is because of what I have my settings up under. So if you click on that gear on the right-hand side, that is where you can find your settings for the drive. Now, under the General tab, you see it starts with storage, and then it has convert uploads, language, offline density, and then suggestions. Under suggestions, the first option says, make relevant files handy when you need them and quick access. I will show you what that is later on in this training. The second one, surface important people and files and share with me. We'll talk about that later. And then make priority my default homepage. Because I have that checked, that is why my Google Drive goes straight to my priority page. If I no longer wanted to go to my priority page, if I just uncheck that and hit done, now when I go to my Google Drive and I click on Google Drive, it will automatically show up on my drive. And so now, once you are in your drive, you have your settings the way that you want them to be. The first thing you need to know is that what this My Drive tab actually is. So if you drop down that tab, depending on how new you really are to Google Drive, you may or may not have a lot of folders there like I do. I have tons of folders because I use Google Drive all the time. And so one neat little feature I'll tell you very quickly is you can change the colors of your folders. And some people like to do this just for organization's sake. So all you have to do is right click on any given folder, hit change color, and just like that, the folders have changed. The folder color has changed. Another thing you can do is change the view of your drive. And so I can change it from this view that I see here and change it to the list view instead of the grid view. And as you can see, all of my folders are now in alphabetical order. And they were in alphabetical order before, but they were more in the grid view. And so you can change the view of your files just by clicking on that icon. The next thing that you need to know is that at any given point, you can always tell where you are within your drive. And so here is my team folder. And you can see we have tons of folders, tons of materials inside of that folder. And so let's say I go into my class materials. If you look along the top, I started with my drive. Then I went to my WOSU team folder, and then I went to my class materials folders. So it's allowing me to keep track exactly where I am within my drive. And you can see the same order is being followed on the left-hand side of the screen. And so let's choose one more folder, choice boards. And so now, looking at the top, I can see exactly where I am within my drive. What's also pretty neat about this is this icon with the people in the circle. This lets me know that I am sharing the files that are within this folder with someone. And so if I were to hover over that icon, I would actually see the people that I am sharing these files with. And so at any given point in time, if I like to back up a folder or back up two folders, if I just click on one of those links, it will automatically take me back to that folder. And so it's kind of like a horizontal table of contents for you so you can see exactly where you are at all times. So the thing is, your drive is exactly what it says, my drive. No one else has access to your drive unless you actually share files with people and give them access to your files. If you never share anything with anyone, you are in control of your drive and you are the only one who has access to that drive. Now, what comes after my drive is shared drives. Shared drives are a little bit different from my drives in that shared drives, it no longer is just you. You cannot have ownership over any given file that is within the shared drive because it is for everyone that is in that shared drive. So it makes sharing very easily. For instance, if you're a third grade team at an elementary school and you have files that you know you want the entire team to have access to, you don't have to create that file under my drive and then share it. You can just have a shared drive for everyone that's on your team, and now anything you put into that folder, everyone automatically have access to it and it stays there. And it's great. It's a great feature to have because no matter what changes may occur, someone may go to a different grade level, none of that will matter. Everything that was put into that shared drive will stay within that shared drive. And so that's a great feature as well. So now this share with me is exactly what it states. That means that someone you know has a file that they'd like you to be a part of. The permissions may be different depending on what permissions they gave you. Some people may want you to just view the file. Some people may want you to have access to edit the file or to share the file. It all depends on the person who is sharing the file. But nevertheless, if it's under shared with me, that means someone has given you permission to see that file or view that file. Recent is also self-explanatory. And that anything that you've touched recently, if you've opened it up, if you've done any editing to it, if you've done anything with the file, it will show up in recent. So you can even see down, I have today, and you can even see earlier this month. Files that I've been working on all month are all right there, and they will continue to load the more that I scroll down. And then after that is the starred files. Starred files are files that I believe are important, files that I want to be able to get to easily. So now all of these folders here, these are all classes that I've taught or will be teaching in the future. And so I like to keep my classes right up top. And these are files that I work on frequently, constantly improving, constantly trying to make better. And so I keep those as starred as well. So anything that you visit frequently or you believe is important that you want to get to easily, you want to put those under starred. And I'll show you how you can do that right within the file. And then lastly, we have our trash tab. The trash tab is absolutely perfect because I can technically throw things away and have these things at my access whenever I need them. So if I accidentally threw away something and I wanted to access it later, all I have to do is come in here, double click it, hit restore, and it will put it right back to whatever folder it was in. But if I actually wanted to delete it forever, I could hit delete forever and they will give you a warning. You hit delete forever and it is gone forever. There's also an option up here called empty trash. Once you empty that trash, it will be gone for good. So just know that about your Google Drive. And so those are all of our options on our left-hand side for our Google Drive. The only other thing that I'd like to make sure you know is that if you're ever searching for a file, you can come in here and just type the name of whatever you're searching for, or you can do an advanced search where you can search for just a specific type of file. You can also go by who owns it, whether you own it or someone else, and etc. And so it makes searching very easy. So those are just a few things that I wanted to go over very quickly about the Google Drive. Now, another feature of the Google Drive is it allows you to go into other Google apps directly from your Google Drive. One way is to go to your waffle menu over here, and you can actually rearrange these for whichever order you like them to be in, depending on how frequently you use them. And another way is by using this new tab over here. Now you can see when I push new, I push it a little bit too hard, and it's giving me the option to create a new folder. That is one way you can create a new folder. But if I come over here and just lightly tap it, I can also do a file upload. And so what's great about this file upload is um, there is a new relationship between Microsoft and Google where I can even upload my Microsoft files, my docs, my PowerPoints directly into my Google Drive, and it will keep them as a Microsoft file. And I can show you that very quickly. Before I started, I created a Word document to upload, and you can see it is uploading down here at the bottom. I'm going to double click it and tell it to open with Google Docs. And we'll give it a second. And as you can see, this is a Microsoft Word document, and I know it is because see how it says Microsoft Word format? If this was just a regular Google Doc, it would not have that .docx. And so now there's a relationship with, like I said, with Microsoft and Google, where you can keep things a Microsoft file and do all of your editing right within Google. A terrific feature that was recently added. So another thing that you can do is you can do a complete folder upload. So if on your desktop or anywhere on your computer, you have files that you want to upload to your drive, you don't have to do it one at a time. You can actually do the folder upload and upload all of those files at one time. Now, getting into the Google Apps, which is the fun part. You can start a brand new Google Doc by coming over here and just tapping on Google Doc. But if you go to this arrow over here, it also gives you an option to choose from a template. And they have in there resumes, they have book reports, all types of things that are good for educators. And for Google Sheets, there's template, Google Slides, there's templates. If you go to more, same thing for Google Forms. And so sometimes before you get started with a brand new doc, come on over here and check out their templates before you start a new project. And so now let's hop right into Google Docs. But before we do, if you need the code for this class, it is GBDA. So again, the code for this course is GBDA. All right, let's hop back into this training. So now, another way that you can start a brand new Google Doc is to just type in doc.new. This will give you a brand new document. And as you can see, it does not have that blue writing up there, so I know it's not a Microsoft Word document. For the sake of this example, I'm going to just type in book report. And if you click up here at the top, it's going to automatically save this document as book report, and it's going to automatically put it in my drive, which is also a great feature. I just want to show you real quick, you can change the folder that it goes to just by clicking that folder that's next to it. And remember I talked to you about starred files? There's a star right there. If I were to click that, it would add it to where my starred files are on my drive. But I am going to unclick that because I don't want that there. So now, a few things I like to tell educators about Google Docs is number one, this Explore tool. If you hit Explore, you can see Google Doc has already picked up the fact that I've typed book report on my document. But let's say I wanted to study mangoes and do a report about the nutritional benefits of eating mangoes. I can type mango into that Explorer, and without even leaving this tab and going to another tab to search for it, here I can get information about mangoes. And let's say this is something exactly what I wanted in my book report. I can copy and paste that information over. But what's important is that I can also give credit to whomever I got this information from. So if I hover over the resource, see those quotation marks? If I hit that, it adds a footnote at the bottom of the page, and now I can give credit to whomever I've gotten the information from. And so what's neat about that as well is that I can change it to MLA style. I can change it to any other style that I need it to be to give credit to who gave me that information. So that is Explore. I like to show all of the teachers that so that they know that's an option. Another thing that I like to show teachers is the ability to create your own shortcuts. If you go into preferences, let's say I have trouble spelling Wednesday. I can go in here, hit Wednesday, WED, and tell it to, every time I type WED, to change that to Wednesday, hit OK. And now when I start typing, if I do WED and keep moving on, there's my Wednesday. A nice little shortcut that I like to show teachers. And so those are just a few of the basics of Google Docs. But what you should know more than anything is it is a great collaboration tool. I can be in here typing, and another person, if I come up here and hit share, they can also be in here typing with me. I can give permissions, for instance, to one of my coworkers to start typing. I can give her permission to edit it, to just comment on it, or to just view it. And so I'm going to hit OK. And so now when I go back to my share, I can see that I've shared it with Hannah, but what's even more significant about that is there's a little clock that pops up. And if I don't want Hannah to have permission to edit this doc after a certain amount of time, I can hit that and say after 30 days, she no longer has access, and hit save changes, and it will automatically take off that access for Hannah. So lots of great options with Google Docs. And so before we end this training, I want to real quick show you how you can also go to Google Slides. So I'm going to first put this in the trash. And just like I did doc.new, I'm going to do slide.new. And slide.new also has a wonderful explore button down here. But what makes their explore button kind of cool as well is I can easily come in here, type my name. And if I wanted to do another study, if I wanted to do my book report on mangoes and slides instead of the Google Docs, I can insert the picture. And let's say I just have my name and the picture. And if I hit that explore tool, it's also going to give me different ways that I can set up this first slide. And so the Explorer has a little bit of an extra feature here that I like to tell teachers about. And I could have chosen a better picture, but you get the idea. If I type in mangoes, I'm going to have plenty of things to explore. And so one more thing that I will show you very quickly about Google Slides is if you hit enter, it gives you a brand new slide. And I'm just going to delete that real quick and insert one more image for you to view. And let's see if these mangoes pop up. Yes, they did. I just wanted to show you a very quick way that you can make your own templates and mini books for your students. You can do this by inserting an image, and then right next to that crop button is a mask image, and I can change that image into any shape that I want. And then I can have a sentence up here for students to fill out and say, my favorite fruit is, and then you let them fill in the blank. And so you can give your students things like this to fill out, especially if we're talking about the younger students. And they can replace this image just by right-clicking on that image, hitting replace image. And whatever image they replace it with, it will stay in that shape that you put it in. So if I choose this apple here, that apple didn't work, but let me go and see if I can grab an apple that will, or a mango that will work. It gave me a new shape. Let me come back over here, do replace image, search the web, and we're just looking for an apple that will replace that image. There we go. So it'll put it in the shape of whatever shape the teacher has it in. And so I will stop there. That is Google 101 Basics. There's so much more you can learn. I encourage you to dig in and just get started wherever you are and have fun with it. But your students will definitely have fun with it if you just go ahead and hop right in and get started. So have a great day, and thank you so much for joining me in today's session.